I have the Dancing Wings Hobby E31 J3 FireBird Cub. This is not a sub 250 gram plane. This is a sub 100 gram plane. Can you believe that? It's got a 600mm wingspan and it's under 100 grams all up weight. It's spinning in a 5x3 prop, so with the power system, I would say that this should have plenty of power, being less than 100 grams of weight. Alright, so let me put a battery pack in it. We will perform the maiden launch of this plane. I just got the assembly completed last night and had a window of opportunity this morning. So the glue has had 12 hours to cure, so hopefully it's not going to fly apart in the air, but we will see. Alright, I'll put a battery pack in it, and then we will do the maiden launch. See you in a minute. Okay, wind has picked up a little bit. It was just about calm when I first got out here. Alright, so this has no gyro in it. It's just a standard micro 6-channel receiver. We'll see how it goes. Alright, launching. Oh, I think I need to tone down my ailerons. What do you think? Definitely need to tone down those ailerons. But, by gosh, it's flying pretty well. Look at that. Oh yeah, I am definitely twitchy on the ailerons. Dang it, you know, and I had him at 80%, and right before I launched, I kicked him up to 100%. That wasn't smart, was it? Check that out. Man, I must be running at about 45% throttle right now. Look at that. Sub 100 gram plane. And I'm flying it in about a 3 to 4 mile per hour wind. Check that out. That is pretty sweet. I need to back off the throttle even more. Man, I'm going to have to cruise around at about 35% throttle with this little plane. It's going into the wind right there. Yeah, this is one that you definitely, you know, as light as this is, you definitely want to fly this in some calmer wind. This is from Dancing Wings Hobby. It is courtesy of Banggood. I want to thank them for sending this for review. This is a bind and fly kit. Wow, that is. Should we see how much power it has in this wind? Oh, it has plenty of power, guys. Look at that. Oh, I almost lost orientation there. I'm flying it a little bit faster in this wind. Oh, that has a ton of power. I figured it would with that power system that it's got on it and that 5x3 prop on a 2S, less than 100. Less than 100. Look at that. That's not a bad roll rate. Whoa. Yeah, it is getting windy. I think I have my timer set for 5 minutes. Okay, we're coming back into the wind here. Let's see if we can slow it down a little bit. Oh yeah, we can just about hover it here. That is pretty cool. Look at that. I'm glad I toned down my elevator. I should have toned down my ailerons too, but this is definitely a calmer wind plane. You know what I'm saying? Sub 100 gram with that wingspan. Look at that. Now, like I said, there's no gyro in it. It's just a standard 6-channel receiver. Look at that. They're just about hovering in the turn there. Look at that. That is cool. Whoa. Yes, this is you know, especially since it's not tuned out. This is a little more wind than I should be flying it in, but it was supposed to be 2 to 3 this morning, and it was when I got here. I mean, it was like as soon as I got ready to launch the plane, the wind kicked up. But look at that. That is a nice handling little sub 100 gram plane, and it has a tremendous amount of power. Man, I'm gonna have to, next time I'm gonna have to launch it at like 45-50% throttle, I think. Whee! Okay, we're gonna have to land this on this little dirt lane because the direction of the wind is coming right down this lane. But isn't that cool? Let's run one more circuit with it, and then test the battery because I don't know how many amps. I did not put a load meter on it before I brought it out. It was all I could do to get it ready for flight today. So let's see if we can put it down. Oop! Look at that. Put its tail up in the air. Yeah, it's got some little wheels on it, but the wheels are actually, the wheels that they put on this are actually pretty nice. It's a pretty nice landing gear, guys. Okay, so I'm going to put some more flights on it and get it all trimmed out. I'm definitely going to decrease my ailerons. I think the elevator felt fine. I better put it upside down. The wind's going to blow it away. That's going to be a fantastic flying little plane once I get it all trimmed out and tuned in. Plenty of power, and at less than 100 grams all up weight, you're definitely going to be able to fly this in a small area. So I will meet you guys back at the hangar. I'll give you the specs on this, and I did take pictures every step of the way, or just about every step of the way while I was assembling it. So I'm going to try and put together a video slideshow of the progress on the build, because I think the images, for anybody that's interested in this, I think the images that I took are probably going to be a lot more helpful than the ones that were in the guide that came with it. So anyway, I'll meet you back at the hangar. Awesome little plane.
Okay, so what did you guys think of my little plane? Pretty awesome. I already went over all the specs in the previous video that I released with the build tips and everything. I was going to release that at a later time after the flight videos, but I decided to release it early. So, plenty of power. I knew this thing was going to have a tremendous amount of power. That is absolutely fantastic. I had too much elevator dialed into it and way too much aileron dialed into it. That was pretty iffy on launch, because every time I moved the stick, I mean, it reacted quickly. So I'm going to be releasing additional test flights and tuning videos of this plane. So if you compare the end of it, I put 8 flights on it that morning. If you guys can hear the wind chimes in the background, it's because the wind is just howling. So we're going to have a tremendous amount of wind over the next week. So I was happy to get out there when I did, and I took advantage of it. So every time the wind would kick up, I would sit there for a few minutes and wait for the wind to die down a little bit again. I would put it back in the air. So I flew it with, I think, 5 2S 300 milliamp hour lipos, 5 flights with the 300s, and I think 3 flights with the 400 milliamp hour 2S lipos. The heaviest battery I've had in it so far was 20.3 grams. It did not have a single problem carrying that battery. So you don't need to worry about that. I think it could carry up to 25 grams of lipo weight fairly easy, as long as it's not a real long lipo, you know, so you can push it back to get your CG. But if you stay tuned, watch the progression of the test flights on this plane, the adjustments I make, and how well this flies. At the end of that flight session of 8 lipo packs, 8 flights going through it, and then I'll give you my conclusion on it at the end. But the 1mm carbon rod that I glued to the trailing edge of the ailerons turned out to be much more effective than I thought they were going to be, because I had a tremendous amount of aileron authority on this plane, and I've already dialed it down 2 or 3 times, I think. But you can see that the ailerons, although they're full span, they're very shallow compared to the root chord of the wing. So I really did not think that I was going to have that much aileron authority when I went out there. That is usually, with these microplanes, having too much aileron authority is usually not the problem. Usually the problem is that there's not enough aileron authority. So I went way overboard with that. And like I said, that launch was pretty iffy. But anyway, so far I am extremely happy with this plane. At the end of the test flights, the 8 test flights that I'll be publishing, you'll see why. I am really having a lot of fun with this plane. So stay tuned. A couple of days, I think I'll probably be releasing flights number 2 and 3 on this plane, and as I continue on the tuning, you will see it get better and better and better. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.